Well, hi everyone. Welcome to this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It is the 23rd of May. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And I'm here at the corner of Yonge Street and Steeles Avenue West. And the walk today will take us west along Steeles. And I think I'm going to go south on Hilda Avenue and then turn east on, I think it's Drewry Street or Drewry Avenue. I can't remember, but and then I will do a part 2 of this video going north on Yonge. So I'm doing a circle. I parked here at the called the Center Point Mall. When I first moved to Toronto, I rented a basement suite in a house near here, and that's where I'm going to conclude part 2 of today's walk, because as I'm walking north on Yonge, we're going to go by the house that I lived at, and I lived there for about 6 weeks until I found an apartment, and then left this location. But I remember coming to this mall, bought a TV here at the Bay, and what I used to do was, because I kind of knew only one person here that was a friend, and I used to spend time here at this mall, but I also used to drive my car down to Harbourfront and hang around Harbourfront. Why I drove my car, I don't know. Coming from Alberta, you kind of drove everywhere, like public transportation. I didn't really take that often, except for to and from work, but outside of work, I used to drive a lot, but then I used to walk to and from work too, so I don't know why I don't know why I drove so much when I moved to Toronto, when there's such a good subway system here. But anyhow, that was, you know, over 30 years ago. Yeah, so I lived up here, and this is I didn't really come beyond this mall. Like, I didn't explore this neighborhood much at all. If I was going to do any exploring, I used to head south down to Bloor or down to Harbourfront. It was so rich, full of people and just different views, and the water. Coming from Calgary, there is other than the Elbow and Bow rivers, you don't really see a lot of water, but you know, those aren't necessarily places that you hang out, the Bow or Elbow rivers in Calgary. But in Toronto, it's cool to hang out down by the beach, down by Harbourfront. So I just remember this Cicely for Honda. That used to be located on a street across the street from where I lived for that 6 weeks, and it was a little Honda outlet. Now they've moved here, and I know that because that Honda dealership, as I mentioned, was just sort of outside on the corner of where I lived for those 6 weeks. But also I had a Honda vehicle that was transported here when I moved here. So I remember when I arrived, there was something wrong with the fan. I don't know, something happened during transport. Anyhow, I didn't have to go far to get that fixed. And the Honda mechanic just crossed the street and did what he needed to do to my car, you know, just like 10 steps away from where he worked. So that worked out well. think I mentioned to you in a couple of videos ago that my garden is complete, but I realize now that I have some drooping peonies and they need to be supported. So I need to acquire little wire fencing or whatever is recommended by the garden experts to support those peonies. There's a little outdoor mall there. Oakville North. I think I came up here a long time ago to get my license renewed. Yeah, Service Canada, that's right. And there's Canadian Tire, which is connected to Centrepoint Mall. So when I left home today, it said it was plus 23. Certainly not as hot as it was when I was doing my walks on Saturday. It was plus 29, no breeze. Seriously hot. I was out of the house for 4 hours that day. I walked to my start point at Bloor and then concluded the first video at front, did a quick errand, and then started my second video at front walking west to Yonge Street, and then I concluded, I think, on Queen at Speaker's Corner at the old, or at the City TV building on Queen and John. And then I had to walk home from there, and it's uphill because I live Yonge and Eglinton, Yonge and Davisville neighborhood, and I was pooped when I got home. Felt like I earned my dinner plus a large piece of dessert that evening for dinner. And today, it does, as I mentioned, it is plus 23. It's pretty windy, so I apologize if you're getting a lot of wind noise and the audio is not coming through very well. It's a bit overcast. I'm wearing short sleeves and it feels good. It's not that sweltering heat. Now up here, I'm not sure if it's in this small area or maybe further down. Don't remember. There used to be like a Holt Renfrew outlet. So the clothes that didn't sell would be moved to, I think it was it called HR Outlet or something? Anyhow, it was where they took the clothes that didn't sell and put them in this outlet location, and you get some pretty sweet deals, and they were high end. There'd be Carolina Herrera, there was like the big names. This is before, like, they had great shoes, but this is before like Manolo Blahnik shoes were popular. I don't even think Manolo Blahnik shoes existed 30 years ago, but there used to be some beautiful clothes on sale. And I remember going up there with a friend on several occasions and picking up some pretty good deals. I remember buying a pair of beautiful earrings that were actually gold, and for $25. And this was probably maybe 25 years ago, or yeah, probably around 27 years ago. Gold earrings for $25. They're stamped 14 karat gold. And then that location moved, that outlet location moved to Vaughan Mills when Vaughan Mills was constructed. I don't know how long ago that was, maybe 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, probably 15 years ago. Around that, anyway. And, oh yeah, I'm turning down here, actually. So before I continue that, yeah, so I'm going to turn down Hilda Street. So we're at Hilda Avenue, rather, and Steeles Avenue West. Now I'm walking south. So this should be pretty residential and away from the noisy street. But I wanted to come down this way because I've never been down here. But anyhow, as I was saying, that Renfrew outlet moved to Vaughan Mills. And I've gone up there maybe 3 times in total because the things that they had up there did not even compare to what they had at the old location that was here on Steeles. Just, yeah, it was almost like a different store, and I couldn't find anything that I liked, like, ever. And at the other location, or the previous location rather, you know, if I had all the money in the world, I still wouldn't be able to buy everything because they had such good selection and good size range and just beautiful things. But that Vaughan Mills location, just as far as I was concerned, was a bit of a dud. But it, I know, is now closed. It doesn't exist anymore. I hadn't been there probably in 10 years. For that reason, for the reason that I never ever found anything there that was worth buying. Now, I can't say that for the actual retail outlets of Holt Renfrew. That is a nice shopping destination if you have money for it. I also know Steeles, aside from when I lived up here, when I was training. I used to run from home up Yonge to Steeles, and then west on Steeles to Bathurst, and then south on Bathurst, and then east on Eglinton. So that was like a 3-hour run. And I used to really enjoy that run. So when I come up here, when I walk down Steeles, I think of those 2 separate occasions when I lived up here and when I used to run along here. This is Hilda Avenue. It's nice, it's serene. So far I only see single family dwellings. I don't see any apartment buildings. Here's the Newton Brook Secondary School. I thought when I was driving, because I drove straight up Yonge to get here and park at that mall, that Center Point Mall, and I thought, you know, I was leaving a bit late and I'm going to encounter a lot of traffic, but there was hardly any traffic. I mean, there was traffic, but not at least what I remember. Like, Yonge Street is always busy, especially on a weekend. I do put a lot of sunscreen on, but I also like to wear gloves because when I'm walking with the gimbal and my hands get sweaty and then it gets slippery holding the gimbal. So, but also for sun protection, I do have sunscreen on, but you know, my hands get sweaty and then it sweats away. So I brought my gloves, but you know, I forgot to put them on. But I'll try and remember to do that when I start my next video. So I sort of am walking into the sun. I'm walking south. The sun's just to the west. There's no sidewalks on the west side of the street, which is a bit of a bummer. I hope everyone is enjoying the long weekend, enjoying 3 days off if you're working, taking in some quality rest time, leisure time, family time. No plans for us this weekend, except, well, actually, did mention in a previous video, I dedicated a video to my husband. It was his birthday on the 17th of May, and we wanted to do a bougie dinner, and so we finally did it last night. And you know what they say, don't shop when you're hungry. Anyhow, when we were ready to order our dinner, it's order and then you pick it up, we were hungry. So, oh man, we just really indulged. So we got a Caesar salad. I got a Caesar salad and I got mushroom soup, and David, he had got some beef pasta dish, and there was something else. And then as we were scrolling through the menu, it said something market, and we didn't read it. All we saw was more food. So they had like another pasta dish for two, and they had a chicken burger. So we thought, okay, let's get that too. Now, keep in mind, or I should preface this rather, there was no intention to eat all that food in one sitting. We just thought we will keep that for Sunday's dinner or for Monday's dinner. And then when we went to pick up the food, we realized that the market food is like going to the market where you're picking up a chicken burger that needs to be cooked. It's prepared, but you just need to cook it. As was that pasta dish for two, that had to be, all the ingredients were there. You just had to put it together and cook it. So, if not that, I don't think it really would have made a difference whether we bought it or not, but we kind of thought, okay, was that a bonehead move? Only because we thought it was going to come all prepared and ready to eat, hot and delicious. So we put that in the fridge. And I forgot to mention too, we also did get one slice of their coconut cream pie. And even when we order out, which is once a week, we try and support the restaurants in the neighborhood. We always get 4 meals out of it. So I can get 2 meals out of what I order, and my husband can get 2 meals out of what he's ordered. And the same stands for last night's dinner. But again, we have this whole other meal situation that we need to prep for, and that's probably all this food's gonna last us for days. And we also got French fries and half a loaf of sourdough bread with hummus. We really indulged, but there's so much food left over, separate from the market food, just from the food that came hot. There is so much left over. Can't eat the way we used to. And what I mean by that is, we would normally finish our meal. If we were in a restaurant, we'd probably finish our meal for the most part. My husband would, for sure, and I wouldn't always, but since we've been ordering and doing a pickup, we just don't eat that much anymore. I think it's age too. I think age is sort of dictating our digestive system and what we can handle. But we get full quicker, and we try not to stuff ourselves on those days that we order food in, because it's always better when someone else cooks, I think. I enjoy the food that I make, but I don't enjoy it as much as someone else is cooking, especially restaurant food. So I usually tend to indulge, but I can't do that anymore, nor do I want to do that anymore. Anyhow, we have all kinds of food. Don't even really know why we did all that, but again, shopping when you're hungry. That's what happens, at least in our case. Isn't it pretty down here? It's so nice down here. Toronto is such a beautiful city. Here's a church. It's called the Christian Reformed Church. Oh, and there's another school up here. Oh, looks like maybe two schools up here. Oh, this is the Willowdale Christian School. Right here to the west. And what's this? Oh, this looks like a French. Is it a school? Centre d'Education Catholic. I just butchered that pronunciation. But yeah, this is definitely French. Maybe it's a bilingual school, or yeah, maybe a bilingual school. So when I left home, my husband was doing the New York Times Sunday crossword puzzle. And he tends to emerge around 1 o'clock, 1:30 in the afternoon to start the rest of his day. So between reading the paper and doing the crossword, here we're at Drewry Avenue, so we are going to go east along Drewry. So I really do enjoy reading the Sunday Times, but I can't take as much time reading it as my husband can. I don't have the patience or something. Can't sit for 3 hours and read. But it is the type of newspaper that you can easily spend a lot of time reading. And I think my husband keeps a section for later in the week to read. They have some really good recipes in there. They have a 5-day recipe guide or plan. They tell you what it is and what the ingredients are, and there have been some recipes that I've used that I really like. So this street's a bit busier. There's a yellow line, orange line down the middle of the street. Fairchild Avenue. Fairchild and Drewry. Looks like another school. Oh, maybe this is the same school that we passed on the other side of Drewry. Probably no, this is separate. Looks like they have a greenhouse back there. Does sure look like a school to me. Let's see. What is this? I don't see any signage. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Drewry Secondary School. It's the Toronto District School Board. Yep. Gee, if you lived in this neighborhood, there's all kinds of schools here. Good neighborhood to be in. If you have kids, for sure. Those beautiful, across the street, beautiful white lilacs. You don't see white lilacs very often. I just love white flowering plants and bushes. The Douglas Snow Aquatic Center is just south of here on Yonge Street, on the west side of Yonge. I don't know what the intersection is. It's definitely north of Finch. Anyhow, and it was newly built fairly newly built when I moved to Toronto. And it had an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So I used to come many mornings when I was looking for you know, while I was looking for work, and I had the time to come here or to go there rather and swim. I haven't been back there since. But it was a very nice facility. I don't know if it's still called the Douglas Snow Aquatic Center. Names change a lot, or often it seems. But I think it was also a community center, or the community center was attached to it. I'm not really sure. I just used to go swim. So if I want to go swimming now, I would go to the North Memorial. I always get this name butchered. The Northern Memorial Community Center swimming pool on Eglinton, 200 Eglinton, I think it is. And that's where I would swim. The thing is, every time I would go swimming there, or lately, I get so hungry, like ravenous. I don't know why. I don't get that hungry when I walk for 4 hours, but I get that hungry if I swim for an hour. Like, seriously hungry. So right across the street here, we're at Yonge. And on the east side of Yonge, there is a big hole in the ground. So I know that there was an outdoor mall that I would come to when I lived here for that 6 weeks. There was a Harvey's in this outdoor mall, and I remember I would come to this Harvey's and bring my book and, you know, just for a change of pace and, you know, have a coffee. And I just remember sitting in that Harvey's, and it was located where now you see cranes, and it was an outdoor shopping plaza. I think there was like a grocery store and, you know, that kind of thing. Anyhow, that's now gone. So I'm going to conclude today's, or at least this part 1 of today's walk, and I'm going to pick up across the street and go, and I'm going to walk north, and then we're going to conclude where I first lived when I moved here. So thank you very much for joining me. I hope you will join me in part 2 of this video. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so and pressing that like box. And I look forward to seeing you in my next video. This is Boomer Girl Walking, signing off.